What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me. This is episode number 5 of the Budget Kitchen Remodel. On this episode, we are going to reface the cabinets and the drawers and everything, and we're going to do it from scratch. So we're going to build it all on our own, and it's the first time we're doing it, so hopefully it works out well, right? Anyways, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, please. We're growing every day, and let's keep building the channel. Anyways, stay tuned. It's coming up now. So, one of the first things you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get a measurement of all your doors. So just measure all your doors, the length and the width and all that. You pretty much can just make them identical to the same size as your current ones, so that makes that easy. And then measure all the faces of your drawers so you know what size to build those. So I already went through and did all that. I have all my chicken scratch right here, so let's go down in the garage and start building some let's start building some stuff. Yeah. So let's go ahead and go over all the stuff that I bought for the project with all the prices, just so you can get an idea of what we're spending along the way. So to start out, we have these cabinet screws. These are going to be the screws that go hold the cabinet doors together. These were $7. Then we have these screws that are going to hold the plywood onto the fronts of the drawers. And then we have the handles, because we're going to add handles to these. If you buy them individually, they're way more expensive. But I found these 10 multi-pack, and together these were $35, I believe, for those. Now I also got some glue. That's cheap. That's only like $5. And then let's head over here. What this is this is 1/4 inch plywood for the centers of the shaker cabinets. And then here we have 3x1, which is going to be the outside part, square part, or frame if you will, of the cabinet. And then for the larger door, for the pantry, I got 4x1, just because it's a larger door. And then for the fronts of the drawer, we have this 3/4 inch plywood. It's oak. Same with the 1/4 inch. But yeah, I think there's nothing to it but to do it. So let's get to work. So to cut up our first one, we're going to do the 2 cabinet doors that are underneath the sink. So looking at my chicken scratch, we got 18 by 25 are the 2 doors. So we're going to cut 2 pieces. Well, actually, since there's 2 doors, we're going to get 4 pieces at 18. And then to get your 25, what you want to do is you want to subtract the size of the wood, which it's 3x1, so the actual size is 2.5. So you want to subtract 2.5 and 2.5, so 5 from 25, so you get 20. So we're going to go 4 at 18, 4 at 20, and then we'll go from there. To give you an idea, this is what it's going to look like, and then we're going to fill this inside part with the 1/4 inch plywood from the back. And what we're going to do is on the back side, we're going to take a router and we're going to put that 1/4 inch groove in there so that the 1/4 inch plywood will mount right inside the lip and be nice and flush. So yeah, hopefully you got an idea. I'm only going to show making one of these fully all the way through because there's so many I got to do, and I know you don't want to watch me build. I think I got to build 8 of these things. I think 6 or 7, maybe 8. I don't remember. Plus the big one. But that's enough of my rambling. Let's get to the router now. Alright, so here we are at the router table. I got a 1/4 inch flat or straight router bit in there to cut these grooves like that. And you just want to make sure that when you cut the groove that it's at the right depth, obviously, so that the 1/4 inch plywood will go flat up against here. And also don't use the don't go all the way to the end of the wood, or else you're going to see it like I did on this one. See, so when you're looking down the edge, you'll be able to see the little notch, and you don't want that. You want to stop, you know. So this notch has just got to be wide enough to go past that, if that makes sense, hopefully. And there you go. We're just going to do that to all 4 pieces, the other 3 pieces now, and then we can go from there. So once you have it all routed out, and then now this is what it's pretty much going to look like. Now what we have to do is we have to screw all the corners and make this square. So for that, I'm using this Craig jig, and what it is this goes on here like this. Well, I'll show you here in a second, but it goes on there like that, and then you're able to use the jig so you can get perfect diagonal drill holes in there for the screws, so that you can screw it up all nice and incognito. But I'll show you how to use this in a second once I figure it out, because I've never used one. So I'll play around with it, and then we'll come back, and then I'll show you what to do. I played around with it a little bit, and I figured it out, and basically I'll show you just a quick rundown of what I'm doing. But if you will really want to get an in-depth video, just look it up on YouTube, and it's what it is it's a pocket hole jig is what it is. Just search that on YouTube, and you'll be able to find lots of videos on how to use it exactly. But essentially what you're going to do is you just put this right on here like that, and then you clamp it down, and then you're able to drill 2 pocket holes, which looks like this. And then what that does is basically in your corners you'll be able to run 2 screws like that, and you won't even see it, and then you can putty over that if you want, and then it'll be like there's never even any screws. Can't talk. Like there's never any screws in there to begin with. You have your drill bit right here. It's got this depth thingy-majigger is right on there. There's instructions that come with the kit also to show you how to set everything up. But essentially, that way when you put this in there, it'll bottom out and you won't go too far. So let's... Boom. Just like that, you got your holes. It's quick, super easy. It's awesome. I'll put a link in the description for picking it up on Amazon if you want to. So once you have your holes, what we're going to do is we're just going to put a little wood glue right in here, and then mate it up. We have these screws that we picked up that I showed you in the beginning of the video. These are actually cabinet screws, and there are certain sizes. You'll have to figure that out, but you can figure that out by looking in the this little booklet there that comes with the jig, It'll tell you like what size wood, what size screws, all that good stuff. But let's go ahead and do that, and then we'll go from there. So basically, when you're putting these together, you want to make sure that the outside is going to be flush with itself. So you want it perfectly flush like that, you know, so it doesn't look all hoopty. You want to make sure it's not, you know, crooked or whatever. Yay, we're going to use glue like in elementary school. Every time I use glue, I always make a mess. So I hope I don't make a mess this time. I should have bought some sort of a jig to help me hold this. Alright, well, that's mad hoopty, yo. We're going to take this apart and we're going to try and figure this out. Now don't forget, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, so bear with me. Oh no! This is stupid. Yeah, we have success. Check it out. So that's what it looks like. Looks good. I like it. Struggle was a little bit real, but and there we go. After a little bit of struggling, we have our first frame done. Freaking awesome. Here's the back of it. So now all you got to do is just put a little wood putty in there, or they actually make plugs that look like this that you can buy, and slide those puppies right inside there, and then it's like they didn't even have any screws in there. So now this next step after this is you just got to measure your piece of 1/4-inch plywood that goes inside here, and then we'll cut it, and then we'll lay it in there. We'll put a little bit of glue and then a couple little nails in here to hold it, and then we'll have our first door done. So there's 6 doors. I got all the doors cut, and yeah, so now we can go ahead and start cutting up the 1/4-inch plywood to go in the centers. So now all we got to do is just measure up each piece so we know what to cut the 1/4-inch plywood to. So you just measure the inside diameter of your routed section, and then go ahead and cut the piece, and we'll just set it right in there. So I've cut the first piece of 1/4-inch plywood, and it's just going to sit right inside here, just like that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to spray a little bit of wood glue all the way around, and then place the panel inside, and then I'm going to use the nail gun with these little 5/8 nails, brad nails, and I'm just going to put, you know, a couple in here, just enough to hold it so that it can hold it, so that the glue can set up and hold it in there. Just like that. Now when you turn it back over, you might have just a little bit of glue seeping out, as you can see. But you just take a little towel or cloth and just wipe it down. Oh, I got them all nailed in and glued in, and they're looking pretty good. Hopefully you can see the sun is shining bright and it's a nice day, so it's like, there you go. So we're up here in the kitchen. We have the cabinet doors done. This is the one that goes in place of this one. But the next step is we have to drill out the holes for these hinges on the back side of the new cabinets. So I know what I just said might not make sense, but as we go along, it'll totally make sense. But this is a concealed hinge jig, which is going to help us and aid us in drilling perfect holes for those hinges. I will put a link down in the description where you can pick this up. I don't remember how much it was, but it's fairly inexpensive. So what I did was, here's the old door. I just removed the old hinge, and there that is right there. And now I've opened this and I played around with it so I could figure it out, just so that I could tell you guys all about it. And essentially what it does is it drills the hole in your, well, this is just a test piece, but in your actual door, because your hinge has this little, I don't know what you call it, recessed thing, but anyways, it sits in there like that so that it sits flush. So basically that's what this does, is it just aligns it and so that you can get every hole perfect. So when using this, all you do is basically, here, let's get my little demonstration piece out, is there's these little gray things, and those are what hold off from the edge of where the jig would sit. So if you look, you see the gray things, they stand off on the wood, and that gives you your distance back and forth of where your hole will go. So to do exactly as the old cabinet doors, what I did was I took the old cabinet door and I set this up in here like that, and then all I did was just played around with the adjustments and got it exactly how the existing or the old doors were. And then I also, it's hard to do this one-handed, but also that's how I set the depth of the actual drill bit, because you don't want it to go too far and drill through the front face of your cabinet door. Now, hopefully that all makes sense. I'm trying to do the best I can at explaining it. So what we found out was, after measuring, is that the old door had the hinges at 5 inches on center. So we're going to just move it over to 5.5 inches on center, just so that we can avoid hitting the existing holes, just so that we can get a nice firm screw hole and attachment so it doesn't strip out or anything like that. So just like that, that's all it takes. Now all we have to do is hook up our drill to this, and then we just drill through, and then this will bottom out, and then voila, we got our hole. Let me take you off the stand, and there you go, just like that. It's that easy. See, and then you just take that and then you set it up on the next hole, and then just go right on going on with it. having these extra little tools, you know, it's a little expensive. It's an initial investment, I guess, on saving time and making it go a little bit easier. But it's definitely worth it. And then see, this just slides right up in there, just like that. And then you just make sure that's square in there. And then you'll just put your 2 screws in, and then there's your first hinge. Easy peasy, right? And there you go. The cabinet doors are pretty close to being finished. They still need to be primered, painted, and then installed. But you're going to have to tune in next week for when I install them. Sorry, I got to make you wait, but check it out. Yep, I've already painted them. They're looking pretty awesome. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, please. We're growing every day, making the channel big. And tune in next week. Thanks for joining. Peace out.